Hey there, Spiral Gang. Tutu back with a completely off-the-wall new brew of Spiral that involves the Mikanko cards. Bet you weren't expecting that one. Shoutouts go out to Psychic, La Epic, and particularly Young, who I basically ripped this deck list off of, for developing the Mikanko SPYRAL Combo stuff. And yeah, let's get on to it. So the title wasn't lying. What is the one-card combo that does the SPYRAL Combo? And well, you might have guessed by looking at the extract, it is Isolde. Now, one-card Isolde combos are not new to Master Duel. If you've seen the Isolde FTK bots, it's functionally the same thing, though we aren't running every single card that they would, because some of them are kind of bad. In this case, we are like running the Neo Space Connector, which famously can search Aqua Dolphin and rip a card out of the opponent's hand, and Warrior plus Warrior make Isolde. But we are doing a little bit of funny, different stuff that you might not have seen done elsewhere to access Isolde, and that is the Punk engine. Now, Punk Spiral is not completely new. We used to use it to access Chaos Ruler and weird versions of the deck, but we're using it now for a rank 3 strategy. And why is that? Well, this weirdo. This card, MX Saber Invoker, was banned years ago because Speedroid Terror Top was a free rank 3 that would special summon a Zodiac from deck, and they still had Broad Bull back in 2017, and that was broken. But Broad Bull's banned, so this card got unbanned, and it's bad. It's just not good. No one's playing it because it doesn't do anything, and even with the new Zodiac Unlimits, it's probably still not going to do anything because a Zodiac deck probably doesn't want to run a 3-axis engine anymore. That was kind of bricky. But we are now, because guess who has a level 4 Earth Warrior or Beast Warrior, but in this case Warrior, to special summon from the deck with Invoker? Spyral Super Agent, level 4 Earth Warrior, and Warrior plus Warrior. Oh my god, that's Isolde, go figure. Yeah, so how do you do the rank 3? Well, it's pretty simple with Xiamen. Xiamen can search Foxatoon, and then Foxatoon can special summon your other Xiamen from deck. Overlay, make a Invoker. If you open Foxatoon, it still works, because you can Foxatoon special summon the Xiamen. Xiamen can then search Ogre Dance, because Xiamen can't search itself, and then Ogre Dance discards to summon, or to search Xiamen, normal summon, because you special summon the first one. That makes rank 3. And finally, well, Ogre Dance searches Xiamen. So, search Xiamen, normal summon, get Foxatoon, voila! That's a one-card combo. So, as you can see, this one-card Isolde axis is how we do the combo. But what is the combo? Like, what does it actually do to access the Spiral cards? Well, thanks to the combination of Ha-Ray being a level 3 Fire Warrior monster and Isolde summoning Grenade, thanks to the use of, like, Arabesque and Meowashi Dori, the Mikanko equips that you can access via Isolde, you can turn these two into a tuner and a non-tuner to make a level 4 Herald of the Arclight, who you then subsequently link off and search Illusion of Chaos. Go figure, Illusion of Chaos can then search Souls, and Souls can send Master Plan to the graveyard, accessing it thanks to a Selene, because you have a Link 2 and a Spellcaster on the field, and throughout the combo you do get 3 spell cards, which we'll go over during the combo. So, yeah, that's basically it. Let's go through the number of one-card combos we have. We have each of the Punk cards that I just demonstrated, so that's 5. Each Neo Space Connector is 8. 3 plus 5 is 8. I can do math. And then 9 with Reinforcement of the Army. We'll count 1 for 1. It's basically been a one-card combo forever. So, 10 functional one-card combos. We're not counting the cards you have to discard to do the combo, just the one card you have to draw. And then 13, because Small World can search all the one cards, and 15, because E-Telly can summon Xiamen. So 15 one-card combos throughout the deck, which is pretty solid. And you still have access to Soul's Quick Fix, and that still does the full combo. It's actually still the best combo in the deck. But, it's more important that the deck has one-card combos because that's way easier to pull off. Now, there are some odd things you might notice missing from the deck. For instance, why are you only running 2 Quick Fixes, 210? You could get away with 3 Quick Fixes. Like, you could cut 1 connector and go up to 1 Quick Fix and just kind of live with 1 less one-card combo, but have better Spiral access. But you technically don't need more than 2 quick fixes because your normal summons typically go to Xiamen and Neo Space Connector now. In the past, you wanted 3 quick fixes because it was your normal summon. Unless you were opening Super Agent and Drone, this card is your normal summon, but it's not anymore. You just need 2 to do your combo, so you run 2. If you only needed 1 for every combo, you might cut down to 1, honestly, but we still run 2. The other odd changes, I've been a long-time proponent of double Master Plan because I hate drawing 1 Master Plan and 1 Souls. Even with the release of Illusion of Chaos, I didn't want to ever risk that change, but now that you still have Illusion of Chaos and the one-card combo searches Illusion of Chaos, you can much more consistently shuffle back your Master Plan with Illusion of Chaos, making it a pretty non-factor that you draw it. The downside is, the second Master Plan was usually like my go-to extra Spiral search for like Small World or stuff, but that's such a minor detail that it's better just to run 1 less brick. Speaking of running less bricks, you might notice the unfortunate absence of everyone's favorite and least favorite brick, Spiral Gear Last Resort. Now, cutting this card is a big question mark for me sometimes. It's got a ton of utility in Spyral that I've shown a million times. It's a very fun card, and honestly, I could see making room for it again. But technically, the combo does not need it because the regular combo accesses a Arabesque at the end. You still have one in hand, and Arabesque does the same thing. Equip monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. You just equip this to Sleeper instead of Last Resort, and it functionally does the same thing. That said, Last Resort does have a lot of other crazy utility that's super fun. So, you know, if you want to throw him in, I wouldn't blame you. I might still throw him in myself. And finally, we are only running one Illusion of Chaos because you search it. If your main combos search it, you don't want to have it in your opening hand a lot of the time. You still want maximum souls just because it's still good to search and it doesn't like trigger Ash Blossom or Droll. So, you know, it's still better than Illusion of Chaos. But other than that, you know, if you're searching it consistently throughout the combo, you don't need multiples of the deck. And we're still running 3 prep rights because it can search Ohime, who has other utility. Besides that, that's really it. There are some other weird ones like, what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing? What are these weirdos? Well, I'll go through that in the combo. So how about we actually get onto the combo instead of talking over and over again. Alright, so here we are, and we're going to do the Amin combo this time. So you can just use Ogre Dance to do that, obviously. Ogre Dance, effect. We'll let you add Amin. Amin will search Foxy Tune. Turn this auto prompt off so it doesn't bother me through this combo. And of course Foxy Tune with one discard, which isn't always bad, but isn't obviously great, but still works. We'll just send this useless Kaiju, and we'll summon Amin. And that's 2 level 3s, and this gets you into MX Saber Invoker. You use MX Saber Invoker, detaching a Amin, and summoning your Super Agent. Now, the Super Agent summon is going to be a little weird for the combo later, but trust me, it's not that big a deal. There's a way to work around it. But so we're going to summon Isolde, and it's very important, trust me, it's very important that you summon Isolde in exactly the left monster zone to actually do the combo. And also, this is super important, Isolde's search effect on summon, you have to get this card, Dragonix, the Empowered Warrior. You've probably never seen this card before this combo. I'd never seen it either. It's very, very important. You're going to play it. So it's got a pendulum effect that says when an opponent monster declares an attack, you can destroy this card in the battle phase. And when we get to the final end board, you'll see why that's important. But the main thing it actually does is it gives you a 3rd spell. So we will use the Isolde effect. You will send a copy of Mikanko Water Arabesque, and that will summon Renaud to your field. Now this is pretty familiar for anyone who's done Infernoble combos or whatever. Renaud will bring back the appropriate equip card, but it's important here because you equip it to Renaud, and the cost of Arabesque, the quote-unquote cost, the effective Arabesque is you bounce the card that's equipped to, and then summon the Mikanko from your deck, and there you go. And then Hare will summon and get her effect to add a Mayo Washidori to your hand. Now this is important because it lets you set up your full combo. So now you summon Renaud, this makes him a tuner, and you need to equip Mayo Washidori to Hare. Now this is the important thing. You might notice how I have 2 equip spells and a pendulum scale. That is 3 spell cards, and that will be important in the near future. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and summon Herald using this level 1 tuner that Renaud now is because you summoned him with a Fire Warrior on the field. And then you could use Mayo Washidori, which just got sent to the graveyard. That's why you have to equip it first, because otherwise you can't get it in the graveyard. And this will summon back the Hare. This will let you link these 2 off for Puzzlamino. And this is why summoning Isolde in the left EMZ is important. You really need Puzzlamino explicitly in the far left column because he points to the right. And this link off searches Illusion of Chaos. And Illusion of Chaos searches Magician Souls. And that is how you access Spyral. There you go. I put back the Illusion of Chaos usually. And then you activate Souls. Special Summon Master Plan. And this will get you in. Now, obviously, you could send cards to the graveyard to draw cards if you want, but it's not relevant here. Do not send Dragonix, because it will no longer count as a spell card if you send it. It will be a monster in the graveyard. Or in the face of Extract. I'm not sure where it goes if you... I think if you send it for cost, it goes... I don't know. Just don't send it. And then you can use Celine. And here we are. Master Plan is now on the field, and as you might know, that usually is where Spyral Combo is. So now we will get our Assault Mission. We have used our normal summon in this combo, which is relatively important. So you do have to open up with the Assault Mission. And Master Plan effect. And we'll discard this assault mission. And we'll just go through this little sequence and get our quick fix. And a copy of Spyral Resort. Now, you will not use a Spyral Resort immediately, and we're about to do something a little weird that might seem awful for you if you've been playing Spyral for a long time, but it's really the way you do it if you want a one-card combo. So we're going to summon quick fix. This part's typical. Don't worry too much about this part. This is kind of like if you opened 1-for-1 or Drone Agent, where you have to start with Assault Mission first. Summon Master Plan. We'll use Master Plan effect, obviously, get a rescue mission. Now here's where it starts to get a little weird. We summon Double Helix, that's not the weird part, but here is the really weird part. You are going to have to blind call Double Helix, and this is important because we need to ensure our Super Agent will hit later in the combo. We're going to recur this card soon, and that's more important than searching with Double Helix. What this means is, if you miss with Double Helix, you do not end on Sleeper, which I know sucks, but it's not that big a deal in this combo, and you'll see why kind of at the end. So we will fire Double Helix randomly. Typically, you'll call Monster in the blind, and it's a spell card, and I missed, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. In this particular hand, I had this extra Spyral Resort, which would have fixed the problem, but we're going to do this as if I missed, because it's okay to miss. You just now that you know there's a spell card on there, it's fine. So now we're going to use Quick Fix, discard Quick Fix, summon, and then we'll use Quick Fix's effect to add Drone, and you could chain block it, I guess, at this point. It's not, if your opponent had National Awesome, they'd probably use it by now, but now we can use Puzzlamino to get Drone. And this is important because now we can discard this Drone with this Quick Fix. Go ahead and get your extra Big Red for follow-up, not a huge deal. And now Drone can banish our Big Red that we put in there earlier. And that gets you Super Agent. Ta-da! Now that we know there's a spell on top, we can do this. Activate. Call spell. And that gets Super Agent on the field, which is the most important thing here, because now we actually have access to our rank 5 engine thanks to Puzzlamino being a spellcaster and Super Agent being a level 4 or lower Earth monster. That allows you to summon Nefarious Archfiend, Nefarious guy. And now you can summon the Herald back, and this is actually fairly important, because you're going to link off this Herald. And I know this seems crazy. In this particular instance, this is what you would typically do. For instance, this rescue mission isn't guaranteed by hand, so I'm going to, sorry, not the rescue mission, this Big Red is something that you always search in this combo, and you will use Nightmare Unicorn. I know this seems crazy to me, but it's crazy to you too, but we're going to link off our Double Helix for Nightmare Unicorn. This discards our rescue mission, chain blocking our Herald, which is nifty, and putting back this extra Big Red we searched, which does mess up your follow-up, but it's not the end of the world. If you have any other spell in hand, like I had this extra Reinforcement of the Army, or this extra Spyral Resort, I could have sent back my Spyral Resort and played the second one. That's what you would typically do, but you're guaranteed to have the Big Red here. So, you know, that's not that big of an issue. So you get Ohime, and this is actually important. Now you can rescue mission back your Master Plan. Summon Master Plan. Get rescue mission. And now before you go into Curious, you want to use Ohime's effect to discard your rescue mission and search your Arabesque. Now, it's not going to be relevant for this inboard, but I'll show you why it is relevant in a second. So now that we have 3 different Dark Monsters on the field, we can make Curious. Ta-da! So Curious will send our Mjolnir. And we had to search the Arabesque before Curious because you don't want to accidentally mill it. That would be a problem. And now we've cleared a bunch of our zones, we can summon Quinquery. So Quinquery effect. We'll summon your Mjolnir. Also recycle your Quick Fix functionally to your opponent's side of the field. And this will do the special summon lock. If you see my previous video, Mjolnir prevents your opponent from special summoning any monster besides artifact monsters until the end of the next turn, which is their next turn, which locks them out of special summoning. It's basically like I don't know. It's kind of like a puppet lock, but you do it on your turn 1 instead of on their turn 1, so it's a little better. Anyhow, now we can rescue mission back our master plan. Summon. Go ahead and use rescue, or get your extra rescue here, which is nifty. And then you make Appaloosa. And now maybe the weirdest part of this combo. We're going to use Link Rebo. So the odd thing about Imperial Princess Quinquery is this is a dark cyber monster, which means the unusual extra deck summoning requirements of Herald of Mirage Light is 2 monsters with the same type and attribute. Well, Link Rebo is also a dark cyber monster who you would be running anyhow for a ton of other reasons. So now you get to summon this guy, and this guy is maybe like the least used Herald, because you have to discard a fairy to negate a spell or trap card, but in our combo, we are guaranteed to have Ohime, a fairy, in hand to discard for its spell trap negation. So that's it. That's basically the combo if you miss on Double Helix. Now, in this particular instance, because I do have an extra Spyro Resort, what I can end up doing is using the Spyro Resort to add my Sleeper if I miss. It's kind of nifty. And then you will go ahead and banish Big Red. And you'll kind of probably do it like this. Summon Sleeper, and then you will equip Arabesque the Sleeper. You can now use this effect without having to worry about Last Resort. If you wanted to, you could have found there's like a way to discard this rescue mission, so you could summon back Quick Fix and stuff, and it's not that big a deal. But this is the end board, and I know it seems like it may be a little innocuous, but you'll see why it's kind of absurd in a second. So we're going to pay the cost of Spyro Resort. Obviously, you will probably put back, because we have rescue mission set, you want to leave your Quick Fix in the graveyard, so I would probably just put back, like, I don't know, all the punk stuff is bad. Just a Magician's Souls. It's a decent draw with the rescue mission in hand. So your opponent goes. They see this, oh, this 600 attack guy. I'm not going to bother with that. But you see, oh, this 600 attack guy, I can just attack over that with Mjolnir. Or maybe I can crash my Mjolnir into Sleeper and free up an evenly matched, right? Not so fast. This dumb Pendulum card that we searched because we needed a spell card for Selene actually has a super important effect. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can destroy this card and end the battle phase. Meaning, they can't get rid of the Mjolnir. Now, that isn't relevant in most situations, right? Hilariously, Kuros is here. That isn't relevant in most situations because, you know, who cares if they crash the Mjolnir? But if they have evenly matched in hand, them being able to crash Mjolnir into your Sleeper or your Appaloosa means they can evenly match you. And if they have 2 evenly matched, they can play through your Herald of Mirage Light. That's bad, so why even give them the chance? End their battle phase immediately with Dragonics, and they can never use the evenly match. They still have Mjolnir face up on the field, so they can't use Lightning Storm, right? The only card they really can use is like a Raigeki or a Harpy's Feather Duster, and you do have a Spell Trap Negate specifically for those situations. I mean, we just killed a Monarch bot now, but that's really the combo. Oh, I didn't set my rescue mission. You're supposed to set rescue mission and like recur Quick Fix, and then Quick Fix can get Big Red, and Big Red can summon Double Helix, and you can get a little bit of extra value that way, but it's not that big a deal. But yeah, that's the full combo. Completely lock your opponent out of special summoning Mjolnir and on Sleeper. This is fairly important. Like if your opponent's on Labyrinth, you still need Sleeper with the Arabesque setup. And you have an Appaloosa and a Herald for monsters and spell cards, which is really all you worry about in this deck. Like 2 monster negates, spell negate, and they can't attack over Appaloosa. That's another big thing about Dragonics. Like there's a lot of decks that run monsters that they can normal summon with more than 1,600 attacks that could attack over Appaloosa. And if you can't get Sleeper, that's a bad thing. But Dragonics protects your Appaloosa. So instead of being a liability on the field, it's actually 2 monster negates almost 100% of the time, and a spell negate. That alone is strong, right? 2 negates they can't clear with the battle phase, really strong. 3 negates they can't clear with the battle phase, incredibly strong. So that's like the idea of the setup of the 1-card combo. So yeah, that's enough of this. I'm going to show you the Neo Space Connector 1-card combo, which is a little different, and it's important to know it if you are going to be running this deck. So let's go on and get on to that. Alright, so here we are back with the Neo Space Connector version of the combo, which is a little different. It's largely the same, but there is a decision point at the midway point of the combo, I would say, that is very relevant here. So typically you'd use the Neo Space Connector, discard a card, and pop it. It doesn't matter. Against the Monarch bot, it doesn't really matter if I know what their deck is or not. But, you know, you would normally use Aqua Dolphin, just discard something, right? I'd probably discard Arabesque here. It's not really a big deal. Yeah, we'll go ahead and use a Solde. Add Dragonics, and don't accidentally click Grenade like you're going to special summon it on this first effect. That got me once, I don't want it to happen to you. Make sure you search your Dragonics. Even if he's already in your hand, just search another Neo Space Connector or something. It doesn't really matter. Now we'll go ahead and send Arabesque. This Arabesque in our hand's a little awkward, but it's not really that big a deal. I'll probably shuffle it back so it doesn't mess with the execution of the combo. You do things slightly differently, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, equip Arabesque. On Renaud. So yeah, this is all going to be exactly the same. The only real difference is that a Super Agent isn't in your graveyard when you get to the point where you summon Double Helix. So you have to actually make a choice there. So you equip your Meo Washidori. And summon Renaud, who is now a tuner for Herald. Ta-da! Meo Washidori recurs. And if anything, you get to see me like repping this combo again. Maybe get it into your memory a little better. Some Puzzlamino in the far left zone. I think it's actually Puzzlamino because it's supposed to be like Domino. But like, I don't know. Who really knows? It's a made-up name. Yeah, we'll add Illusion of Chaos, and just for the purposes of like showing the combo execution correctly, we will shuffle back this Arabesque. But you wouldn't need to in this situation. It's just why not for me, right? All right, and we'll go ahead and summon the Souls as per usual. If you are playing into Bystials, having this Big Red hand is actually very good. That's actually something you can do when you open with Arabesque. You can send Big Red, and Renaud can bounce Big Red, and then you can actually open with Big Red on match plan if you're afraid of a Bystial. It's like a thing that's capable. But I'm not going to bother with it here because you don't want to assume your opponent has a Bystial, right? And we'll summon Master Plan. And do this all over again. Once you get used to Spyral combos, you can kind of blitz through them a little bit once you get to the part of it that is linear. I mean, this is obviously a linear combo up until the Double Helix is summoned. And get your quick fix. And activate Spy Resort. And summon quick fix. Da-da. So an interesting thing about these combos is, even though this is a one-card combo, if you open any Spyral monster name besides Master Plan, like if you open Super Agent, Quick Fix, or Sleeper, you don't have to worry about the blind call stuff because you already get what you need. Like you just search the other card with your Spy Resort because you just hard drew the other one. That is worth considering. You know, if it's not actually a two-card combo at that point, it's just it makes your one-card combo better. Anyhow, summon Double Helix. Alright, so here's where the decision-making comes, right? Because you don't have Super Agent in the graveyard, you can't do the quick fix for quick fix play. So you have to search Super Agent. You have to. It's just you don't have an option. Now, at this point, the correct thing to do is blind fire Super Agent, and if you hit, Double Helix can summon, can search Sleeper. If you miss, Double Helix has to summon Quick Fix. The reason for that being, and I'll kind of show you why in a second, you'll notice that while I have this Quick Fix on the field, we're going to just kind of do this real quick because this is necessary, but this Quick Fix cannot be sent to the graveyard for the purposes of the Nefarious Archfiend in our deck, because it would be banished instead of being sent to the graveyard, so you can't send it to the graveyard for cost. Now you could chain rescue mission to summon the Quick Fix, then do it, but then you wouldn't have your level 5 monster on the board, so sending away Puzzlamino would not work. So you have to do it in this sequence. Now, if Super Agent hits, you can send Puzzlamino and Super Agent, and then Double Helix can search Sleeper. If Super Agent misses, then Double Helix has to summon Quick Fix, and then Quick Fix plus Puzzlamino can summon the Archfiend. That's the way I would do it, because if you do it in the reverse order, like if you miss with Double Helix, you have to summon Super Agent, and it just leaves you with a Quinn Query on the board. That's going to happen no matter what, right? Like the opposite side where you do Helix first in this combo isn't going to make it any better, even if your Super Agent misses. So I'm going to try to miss here and call Trap. Okay, I missed. That's fine. So if you do miss, you just go ahead and summon your other Quick Fix. Simple as that. If you hit, you summon you add Sleeper, because I consider Sleeper the most valuable part of that. So now we summon this guy right here. And go ahead and get Ahime. And we'll rescue back, so we have a discard for our Nightmare Unicorn. It's just efficient to do it this way. And now, if you wanted to, you could have like summoned back Quick Fix with the Nefarious Archfiend and make a Link Kuriboh here, and then make the Curious, but that doesn't actually do anything better, I don't believe. So I was supposed to set Big Red and send it back. That's my bad. It's kind of speeding through the combo, but it doesn't make a huge difference. You just won't have Spyral Resort on the field. Oh no. You probably won the game, so I wouldn't worry that much about it. And that gets you a Hime. And then you would just use a Hime, ditching, I don't know, this, probably this Bear Super Agent, so you have a banish for Sleeper, if you needed it, but we don't need it here, obviously. And now you can go into Curious again. Pretty straightforward. And the nice thing about this combo is you do still end on the reason why you do need to get the Hime is you do still end on the Quinn Query. The Quinn Query setup, you just don't get Sleeper. Sleeper's better than the, not the Quinn Query, the Herald. You'll see in a second. So let's go ahead and do this Quinn Query stuff. Ta-da! Quinn Query effect. So this version, even in the bad version of the combo, you're still going to end on, because we can do some back of Double Helix. You can just Quick Fix. Discard maybe this Drone, not really a big deal. And just turn that into Link Kuriboh, and this will get you to your Herald, and you still have the Ohime in hand. So this gets you to the Spell Negate and the Appaloosa, and if you want to, it could be even a bigger Appaloosa if you want to get rid of your last Quick Fix, because you don't have Sleeper, right? But, you know, it's not... At that point, it's just you deciding what you want to do with the board, but it's the Spell Negate and the Monster Negates and the Quinn Query. I'm supposed to have a Spyral Resort on the field so I can search Sleeper next turn, but, you know, you saw me mess that up, but that's not really that relevant. This is the end board, right? Ta-da, the end board. Spell Negate, Monster Negate, negate the battle phase. We're done. And you end up with a Big Red in hand if you don't shuffle it back like I did. But either way, because I summoned that Quick Fix, I could have searched the Big Red. So you would have this Big Red regardless for next turn as follow-up. So it's not that bad. And anyhow, that's basically it. That is the other one-card combo. And let's get on to the deck breakdown at the end. So you can see the pros, cons, and the other eccentricities that I couldn't show you just in these specific combos. Alright, and here's the deck one more time. There's just a few things I'd like to touch on before we get to the conclusion and send you on your way. So a couple of things to note. Isolde combo decks are well known in Master Duel. There's famous Isolde FTK stuff and shenanigans. And one of the bigger problems with Isolde is that the monster that you summon from the deck has to be in the deck, usually making it a Garnet. In this case, that would be Renaud. Some decks like Infernoble don't mind playing multiple Renaud, so it's not really a big deal for them. But we don't want to play multiple, so how do we get around the fact that this guy's a Garnet? Well, you have a secondary play line that I didn't want to show just because I didn't want to like draw Renaud and show that one specific combo off. The only difference is instead of summoning Renaud, use Isolde to send one Arabesque, one Big Red, and one Maya Washidori to the graveyard, and that summons Hare from deck, who then is a Fire Warrior on the field. You can summon Renaud, bounce back your Big Red, I guess, in that scenario, and then you can still make Herald and do everything that you did before, because Maya Washidori is in graveyard, that summons back Hare, summons back Puzzle Mino, and you've already seen me do the combo twice. You don't need more info on how to do that exact combo. But, so Renaud's only a Garnet if you draw it plus Maya Washidori, or double Big Red, or double Arabesque, because you do need to have 3 equipped spells to send to be able to summon Hare. That combination of cards and like double bricking is less than 1 in 200 hands, and even in those, some of those hands you just have Illusion of Chaos, you can shuffle back Renaud. You might just have combo anyhow with a card like 1 for 1 or Souls plus Quick Fix. You know, it's not it's less than 1 in 200 hands, so I wouldn't stress about it, and I wouldn't like make more wild deck building decisions. Like these cards, you already kind of play in doubles for particular reasons. Like you need a second Airbest, so Hemo can discard rescue missions in certain hands. Having a second Big Rat's pretty important. It's nice. So this isn't a hard garnet. It's like a very very rare one in. You probably won't have this happen more than once if you play this deck like 500 games, like in realistic scenarios. Because like some games you're going second in it, it really didn't matter. So like half your games it probably doesn't matter, and uh, less than 200, 200 if you're going first games, it's going to happen, etc., etc. Another thing I want to note, this is the Mjolnir combo. I might have already mentioned this, but the Mjolnir combo is not the only combo this version of the deck can do. It just happens to be very well suited to it because it's a combo that Curious can set up, and it doesn't need a whole lot of material to function because the Assault line doesn't go through the full Spyral powerful super line as you saw. Like we skipped Quick Fix at one point, we don't always get Sleeper, but it's good enough to usually win, and you can still usually get to Sleeper no matter what, because like if you draw any extra Spyral names, like if you draw extra Quick Fixes, I mentioned that in the combo, so no need to go on into extreme detail with that. The other downside is there's not a lot of room for tech. I mean, you can see we're kind of straining credulity on this deck build already. You could maybe cut a Neo Space Connector. I believe Young only runs 2 because he doesn't like loading up on normal summons too much, and like fit some more stuff in. I mean, only 2 Quick Fixes is kind of rough because sometimes you want a small world away a Quick Fix because you like have a Spiral Resort and a Souls in hand, and or not Souls in hand, but like you just need a small world to send, and the extra Quick Fix or the extra Master Plan was that. You can make room. For instance, 1 Thrust, 1 Talents is hardly necessary, but it's nice to have some more going second tech when you can get it. And I really do like Thrust because it can get 1 for 1. So 1 and 1 is kind of where I'm going here. I believe Young has that too. Other than that, you could maybe trim a kaiju, but everything else is just very minor deck building tweaks and like personal preference. It's a pretty solid and tight list at 60 cards, because honestly, if we could play 65 cards, we'd shove in a little bit more extra stuff in here. Speaking of different techs you can run, you don't have to run both the Neo Space Connector and the Punk stuff. For instance, after Young showed me that version of the deck, one of my immediate changes when I was just kind of testing out hands, because I haven't taken this to ranked or anything yet, is I took out the Neo Space Connector stuff and focused harder on the rank 3 stuff. So as you can see, I'm playing my beloved Dangers. Sometimes they snipe, sometimes they don't, but they always put a body on the field, and in the case of Jackalope and Tsuchinoko, they pretty much always guarantee a level 3. So what ends up happening is the Neo Space Connector line is very Isolde forward, right? If you summon Neo Space Connector, 99% of people who know what they're doing know you're about to go into Isolde. I'm going to save my imperm for that. But if you lead on a Xiaomin or an emergency teleport or Ogre Dance and Foxy Tune getting to Xiaomin, when you activate Xiaomin, people are very likely to throw an Ash Blossom or an imperm at it. And suddenly, Danger is a guaranteed rank 3 because you summon it with Xiaomin and make a Invoker, because they're both 3s and this is a generic 3. As Zodiac players will remember from the Speed Warrior Terror Top days, any 2 3s make this guy. Another fun thing about this build is Danger plus Ash Blossom is combo, right? You can summon it, you can normal summon Ash first so you don't discard it, and then activate a Danger, guarantee a level 3, go into Invoker. So Ash Blossom randomly being a combo piece is kind of funny. If you want to play Ghost Bells to play around Bystios and stuff, that also works with this setup. And in general, I believe the Punk stuff is a lot stronger at baiting hand traps than going into Invoker, which is your actual card you need to resolve to get to Isolde, than the Warrior stuff. Also, though, and we can go back to the other deck, you don't have to play the Punk stuff. The Punk stuff is a much bigger engine than the Neo Space Connector stuff. So what you could do is like cut all the Punk cards, which includes the emergency teleports, which is a bunch of cards, and that's 7 cards out of your deck. If you wanted to, you could throw in some stuff like Fire Flint Lady. Just think of generic Infernoble extenders. Super Quantum Red Layer is probably a very well-known Isolde combo guy. There's a Sublimation Knight is another normal summon with Squee Knight. But this guy kind of gets a Garnet in there, so I don't like that one nearly as much. There's Shade Brigandine. If you're leading off your combo, you're not going to have any traps in the graveyard, and that's a generic warrior. These are cards you could run, and in the case of Spire Flint Lady, is a Rhoda target that can extend you if your Neo Space Connector does eat an Ash Short Imperm, and then still get to Isolde, right? I don't like this as much because there's not as much generic extension that plays well with a level 4 warrior. Like there is Super Agent who can do it, but I don't think like Fire Flint Lady and Quantum Letter Layer and Shade Brigandine are as versatile as Dangers, and they obviously don't combo with Ash Blossom. So this is a little more focused on tunneling the Neo Space Connector line because, you know, Aquadoff and ripping card from the hand is really powerful and is the more powerful combo, as I showed. So, you know, if you want to focus in on that and cut the punk stuff, you can throw in some more generic Worry Extenders and play some more tech cards, you know, increase your thrust and talent count or something, or throw in a gamma and a driver. Who knows, right? There's other ways to build this. So don't think because I showed you 2 variants that I was running that those are the only ways to play this variant. It's very versatile. As the Assault Day setup is just good with the Mikankos. That the only essential cards are these few Mikanko pieces that make the Assault Day line get you to Herald. That's really it. I believe that's it, everyone. If you got any questions, comments, or anything like that, leave them down in the comments. And if you liked, well, like, comment, subscribe, etc. You know, the YouTuber spiel. I can't help myself. Anyhow, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Bye.